Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and welcome back to the NFL edition of Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the Divisional Round Playoff games for this weekend. Last weekend, we did well in the wild card round. I think we went 5-1 with those games. We got 4 more games this weekend in the Divisional Round, so looking for a strong weekend. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Let me know who you like in these Divisional Round games in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets in the NFL or other sports like college hoops, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the Divisional Round Playoff games in the NFL. First up, we have the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. This one is going to be 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. The Chiefs are a sizable favorite at home. Total is in the low 40s. Now, last week, the Texans, we took them plus the points on the money line against the Chargers. Was not the most popular play. I was a little bit surprised because I realized, the Texans definitely were limping into the postseason, but I didn't think the Chargers were considered a great team and a team that has a lot of playoff success with Justin Herbert. So it was a little bit surprising to see, the comments that were supporting the Chargers. Texans got the job done for us in that one, but for me, I still think this is a strong Texans defense. As much as their offense has struggled and the offensive line and C.J. Stroud's been inconsistent, the injuries have piled up, and now Joe Mixon's questionable. I still think this defense, it was the reason they won that game last week. And on the other side, the Chiefs' defense has been excellent all season. Patrick Mahomes, didn't have his best season this year in the regular season. He had 11 interceptions, only 26 passing touchdowns. Injuries play a role in that for the Chiefs as well. They had plenty of skill position injuries in the beginning of the season. So for me, I think we have two strong defenses going at it. Don't really trust either of these offenses right now to go full throttle. I'm going to go with the under in Texans-Chiefs. Next up, the NFC game for Saturday is the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. This one is 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and we see the Lions as a big favorite at home. Total is in the mid-50s, so one of the steeper totals of the entire season right now in the divisional round of the playoffs. So it should be a good one. Should be a lot of scoring, and if you like offense, you should enjoy this game. But for me, I think that this is kind of a similar situation to what we saw last week with the Broncos and the Bills. I mentioned I could see Denver and Bo Nix making some plays early on, competing in that game early on, but by the end of 4 quarters, I just don't think I didn't think they were going to be able to keep up. And we saw Buffalo, pull away and win that game and cover the number. I think this is going to be a similar situation because the Lions have been a team that's been able to move the ball and score almost, against almost any defense this year, consistently. I mean, they put up 33 points per game, over 400 yards per game, even in some of their weaker showings of the year. You look back to week 2 against the Bucs, where they lost outright and only scored 16 points. They still put up 460 total yards of offense in that game. So I just think the Lions are going to be able to pick their number again on the offensive side. Jared Goff has so many weapons, such a strong offensive line to play with, and the Commanders' defense has really sharpened up down the stretch of this season going into that first round, but I just don't think they make enough stops, and I don't think Daniels makes enough plays to keep up and to cover this spread. So I'm going to go with the Lions and lay the points at home. Next up, the first of 2 Sunday games. This one is the Rams and the Eagles at 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be on NBC. The Eagles are a sizable favorite at home. Total is in the mid to low 40s. Now, I definitely think the Rams had the more impressive win or more impressive showing in their win over the Vikings than the Eagles did over the Packers. For the Eagles, it was basically the simple fact that they were +4 in the turnover battle. And while they were outgained in the game 302 to 290 and out first down as well, when you get the opening kickoff, when you recover a fumble inside the red zone or just outside the red zone and manage to score those 7 points early on, it is really tough to take that away or grab a win away from the home team in that situation. It got the crowd going right away. Jordan Love made a lot of mistakes, and the Eagles took advantage of every single one of them, basically, en route to the win. The offense wasn't, the best. I mean, Jalen Hurts did not play his best football. Saquon Barkley had a solid day. They ran the ball for 5 yards per carry, but I would still say the Rams had the better showing. I still think, though, that Philadelphia is the much better team in this matchup. Playing at home again, I just don't think the Rams have enough here to compete for 4 quarters. I think when you look at the Rams, they benefited from a really weak Minnesota Vikings offensive line and an inexperienced and quite honestly, kind of what we expected from Sam Darnold in that game. Just wasn't ready for playoff football. We saw him struggle in the week before against the Lions in that basically must-win game to win the division. He struggled yet again in that first round of the playoffs. But now you've got an Eagles team that's experienced, plenty of playoff experience, and playing in such a tough building or tough stadium. I got to go with Philadelphia in this one, lay the points. I think they win this game by around 10 points. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to this game. Every game's highly anticipated in the playoffs, but this one, I think for the most part, people are, really excited about, and for good reason. I mean, these are two of the best teams, not just in the AFC, but in the entire league, and the Ravens are the small favorite for now. It would not surprise me to see this line go through 0 before kickoff, so we'll keep track of that, but the total's in the low 50s, 6:30 Eastern on CBS. I'm going to roll with the Ravens in this one. I think when you look at Baltimore, the fact that this team is probably going to look to run the football about 40-plus times in this game, and the fact that the Bills' run defense has been inconsistent this season, giving up about 4.5 yards per carry overall this year, I think Baltimore has the advantage there. This Ravens defense, we've talked about it a few times, down the stretch this season as it got healthier, really sharpened up in the secondary especially, but overall this is one of the best run defenses in the league. They can get pressure on Josh Allen, even though he hasn't taken too many sacks this year. I just think that while the Bills have a great home field advantage and a potent offense, I trust the Ravens defense a little bit more right now. It makes sense this game's a pick'em. It should be back and forth and one of the best games of the year, potentially one of the best games we've seen in a while. But I'm going to go with the Ravens and in this one on the money line on the road. And that's it. Those are the playoff games for this weekend. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those football picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.